Number 1, Joey Gallo. Nah, I'm just playing. Number 1, Brandon Nimmo. Kicking off our list with the best free agent outfielder not named Aaron Judge, Brandon Nimmo is a player that I've loved ever since he debuted across town for the Mets back in 2016. The 29-year-old has entered the free agent market coming off a great year, posting an even OPS of 800 with a 134 WRC+, 16 home runs, and 102 runs scored in a 5-point WAR campaign. He bats from the left side and is a rare strikeout, two things that the Yankee offense obviously needs more of, and is also one of the best in the game at getting on base, as since 2018, he is 5th in all of baseball with a 388 OBP. As for the defense, Nimmo's seen the majority of his time in center field, but also has hundreds of innings under his belt in the corner outfield spots as well. If the Yankees were to sign him, he'd almost certainly become the everyday left fielder, where he grades quite well, as he's been worth 7 defensive runs saved and 5 outs above average over 870 career innings there. So with all that said, the skills and production of Brandon Nimmo on both sides of the ball would be greatly welcomed in the Bronx, no doubt about it. As for any concerns, there is worry about his health. Despite staying on the field for 151 games this past year, it was just the second time in his career that he played 100-plus games. Granted, he did play 55 of the 60 games in 2020. I won't jump the gun and label him injury-prone, but a lot of his IL stints have been due to muscle stiffness and strains, soft tissue injuries, and not just bad luck like the freak incidents that, say, Aaron Judge has had in his career. As for the financial end of things, Nimmo is likely to get around $110 million over 5 years, an AAV of $22 million per year. He'd perfectly fit the role of a leadoff hitter, something the Yankees don't currently have outside of maybe DJ LeMahieu. But how does a 1 through 4 of Nimmo, Judge, Rizzo, and Stanton sound? Pretty good to me. Number 2, Carlos Rodon. I've made it clear many times this offseason that if we're operating under a set budget, I want to allocate it almost entirely to upgrading the offense. However, while we should all take this with a grain of salt, Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner has recently come out and said that there is in fact no set budget. With that said, and the fact that this is the type of video where I can dream, shout out Elvis for making the greatest song of all time, the Yankees signing Carlos Rodon would simply cure all that's wrong with the world. World hunger would be no longer, children would never cry, the sun would never set, and the Yankees would have the best pitching staff in baseball. Drafted by the White Sox with the 3rd overall pick in 2014, Rodon struggled with injuries and relative ineffectiveness through his first 5 seasons in Chicago, averaging just 19 starts a year and an ERA over 4. And those struggles even led the White Sox to temporarily parting ways with the left-hander after 2020, although they did end up re-signing him for the 2021 season. And that's when he took off. With a 4-seam that used to sit around 92 to 94, incredibly, Rodon's velocity spiked up to 96, helping to turn his fastball into arguably the best in the game. In fact, over the last 2 seasons, no pitcher has gotten more swings and misses on the fastball than Rodon's 486 whiffs on the 4-seamer, trailed by Garrett Cole with 432. While his slider has also improved, he had already been seeing tremendous success with that pitch. The fastball, however, was being hit at a 284 clip from 2015 to 2020, but then from 2021 to 2022, that opponent batting average has plummeted all the way down to 207, which is just absolutely insane. This remarkable improvement in Rodon's stuff has suddenly turned him into a top 10 pitcher in the game. Over 31 starts this past season, the soon-to-be 30-year-old posted the highest WAR of any pitcher in baseball at 6.3 after pitching to a 2.88 ERA with 237 strikeouts over 178 innings, going 14-8 for the Giants. Rodon is a stud. If there's one starting pitcher on this year's market that I'm willing to give big money to, it's him 1,000%. Fangraphs projects him to sign for about $135 million over 5 years, equating to about $27 million per year, average annual value. How about this rotation, guys? Garrett Cole, Carlos Rodon, Nestor Cortez, Luis Severino, and Frankie Montas is your number 5. Without a doubt, would be the best pitching staff in the league. Number 3, Michael Brantley. Entering his age 36 season, Michael Brantley remains one of the better and more consistent hitters in the game. He may not have 20 homer power these days, but is still well above average as he's batted .303 with a 122 OPS plus since the start of 2020, while also maintaining his incredible bat-to-ball skills with baseball's 8th lowest strikeout rate in that span. He's coming off a year where he played just 64 games for the Astros, so his asking price won't be too steep. In fact, there's a good chance the 5-time All-Star takes a 1-year deal worth less than $15 million, which could turn him into the best bang for your buck free agent hitter in the market. And that's the reason he makes this list. The Yankees intend on bringing Aaron Judge back, and to do so, you're looking at paying him $40 million a year over at least 8 seasons. If Hal Steinbrenner isn't willing to pay the aforementioned Brandon Nimmo on top of that, Michael Brantley is a far cheaper alternative both in terms of salary and length of contract, yet would still be a significant upgrade for this lineup. Yo, what's up, guys? Brief interruption to let you know about one of our awesome new sponsors here at Yankees Avenue, and that is the Ridge Wallet. Now, some of you guys have heard me talk about this wallet before, but for those who aren't familiar, guys, it is easily far and away the best wallet that I've ever used. And I've had a lot of problems with wallets in my day, mainly because they're just too big and bulky. As you can see, that is not the case with this wallet. And it's not like it's a tight squeeze. No, there's a bunch of stuff you can hold in here, including 12 cards. Also has room for cash, of course. There's over 30 colors and styles, including carbon fiber and burnt titanium. The wallets also have over 50,000 5-star reviews And it doesn't just stop at wallets. I know I'm using the keychain they also sent me as well. There's a bunch of awesome different stuff that you guys can go and pick up. And if you use my exclusive link, ridge.com/YanksAv, you can get up to 40% off through December 22nd. That's ridge.com/YanksAv for up to 40% off. And guys, I cannot recommend it enough. Go get yourself one of these Ridge wallets at the very least, because like I said, it's the best one I've ever had. Number 4, Nathan Eovaldi. How about a reunion? If the Yankees decide they do want to add one more starter but aren't willing to break the bank for Rodon, Nathan Eovaldi could be a fantastic bargain. While he made just 20 starts in 2022 due to some back and shoulder injuries, the 32-year-old is just 1 year removed from his 2021 season in Boston that saw him post the third highest WAR among all starting pitchers. He made 32 starts that season and put up a 3.73 ERA along with a much lower 2.79 FIP, striking out 195 batters across 182 innings. With that in mind, the former Yankee won't come cheap, but also could end up the steal of the offseason at likely just $16 million per year over 3 years. At the very least, you can expect 25 starts of pitching you'd accept of a number 3 starter, but with the potential upside of a starter worthy of calling your number 2. As for his place in the Yankee rotation, he'd follow Luis Severino as the team's 4, giving you a staff of Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, Severino, Eovaldi, and Frankie Montas, with Domingo Germán as your 6th. No doubt about it, not necessarily the best pitching staff in baseball, but for sure one of the better and more complete rotations in baseball. Number 5, Trey Turner. The Yankees went into this past October with intentions of winning a World Series, yet somehow had no idea who their shortstop was. They swore by IKF all season long, cluelessly stating how he was one of the best defenders in the sport, all for him to be benched by Game 4 of the ALDS. That's a major problem, and while I have big plans for the kids to play, particularly our number 1 prospect in Anthony Volpe, the Yankees can immediately change the landscape of their infield and lineup with one simple move: sign Trey Turner. And for those who saw the offseason blueprint I put out recently, I'm going to be reinforcing a lot of those points here, but to put it simply, he's exactly what this team is lacking. At 29 years old, he is in the prime of his career and excels at every facet of the game. He can hit for contact, hit for power, play solid defense at short, all while being arguably the fastest player in baseball. Since debuting in 2016, his 162-game average is a 302, 355, 487 slash line, which is of course average on base slugging. That's good for an 842 OPS, 24 home runs, 83 RBIs, 44 stolen bases, and how about this? Just 129 strikeouts. Imagine if the Yankees were getting that production at a shortstop in 2022 instead of IKF. The season may have ended a lot differently, that's all I'm going to say. And reminder that anytime I criticize Yankee shortstop production, it's nowhere near a shot at IKF. No. Ultimately, he was the same player he's always been, which is a below league average hitter and defensive metrics that contradict each other. Brian Cashman and the Yankees are the ones at fault here, not IKF. Fortunately for him though, since I know my opinion weighs on him heavily, signing Trey Turner would allow me to forgive Cashman for the shit show that was shortstop in 2022. The 6.3 WAR Turner put up this past year ranked him as the second best shortstop in all of baseball behind Francisco Lindor. Want to take a guess the last time the Yankees had a shortstop who put up a WAR over 5? Gotta go all the way back to Derek Jeter in 2009, which is quite pathetic really when you consider the easy options the Yankees have had to upgrade over these past couple free agencies. If they once again choose to sit out and let Turner and Correa walk away to another team, that could end up being a disaster. And I really like this description of Turner's game from an article over at The Athletic by Jim Bowden where he says this: he can play second base or shortstop, he has a strong hit tool with speed and power, which suggests he will age well, even when he slows down in his mid to late 30s. He can hit leadoff, second or third, he can manufacture a run with his speed or hit a 3-run homer to put his team ahead. Call up Anthony Volpe, trade Oswald Peraza while his value is at its highest, and then sign Trey Turner for 8 years, $270 million. Guys, check out this lineup that also includes Aaron Judge and Andrew Benintendi's return with Trey Turner. Trey Turner leading off, playing shortstop or second base, Aaron Judge batting second, Rizzo batting third, Stanton cleaning up and batting fourth, LeMahieu batting fifth, Benny batting sixth, Bader batting seventh, Jose Trevino batting eighth, round out the order, Anthony Volpe in the number 9 spot. What do we think, guys? Comment down below, let me know.